Okay, guys. Hello, SBA students. Okay, sorry for yesterday. I couldn't make it. Last minute thing that I had to do. Please, again, I will be begging. All right, that is a word I shouldn't use. I'm asking you, those of you who are still pending with SBA. All right. Those of you, you know yourself, some of you haven't done anything, or at least I cannot see anything here in the Google Classroom. All right, I believe that you guys compromise yourself and that is not showing. Okay, so please, I write this week coming. I will need to be hunting you guys, or I don't know, something will need to happen in order for you to be or start working on those SBAs. All right. I have those of you that still have missing the other parts. Alexandra, you still have 2 parts missing. Angelina, I don't know what is wrong with you. I have no news. You joined, but I haven't seen anything here uploaded. All right, it's actually more sections that I have here pending. Okay, Brianni, you have one more there. Christopher, the same thing. All right, last thing, I don't know what is happening with you. Janelli, you are okay. All right, just the last part, which I will mention in a while. Okay, and a few things that I will generalize. Probably you might look into it once more. Emily, I don't know what is wrong. Okay, Emily. Yvette, Ivamari, I have no complaints. Just wait for the other part. I will explain in a while. Janelia, you have missing one more there. Jasmine, Kayla, all right. You two, all right. I have no news again on you guys. All right. What are you doing? I don't know. Lisbeth, it's that you had made a huge advancement on your SBA. Melissa, Ricardo, honestly, again, you two also. I don't know what is wrong. All right, the Red Sea, you have a couple more missing. All right, so basically that goes for a Ricardo, Melissa, Kayla, Jasmine, right, Emily, Angelina, all right. The others, a few such as Alexandra, Christopher, Janelia, okay. And you're missing a few. Please, this is the last week that needs to be handed in, right? I said I have it already in the Google Classroom, all what it must or should be done. I will be adding here one more that should be the web page. And that is what, again, as I said, I will be explaining. Second, all this taken as assignment. All right. That is a part that I explained to the class this week. That last minute, well, I got the news that there is one section that is called the web page, and of course we haven't done that as yet. And that is the issue about it. We haven't done the web page as yet, which should be done or is designed in your work on it after we come from Eastern vacation. That is the closure of actually the school year. Okay, but anyways, quickly, all right. So it's actually 5 sections, okay, 5 sections that is forming part of this SBA. Before going, I did see I will be using, let me see, that is, I saw Dianelli's one, which was more or less there. Okay, Dianelli, I will be using your one for this purpose. Okay, The only thing that things that I observe in year one, Janelle, and for the others, please take note, right? If that is your case, is whenever you are doing your tables, okay, your table that is required for your access, your relationships, all right? I know that some of you did your relationships, but the relationships should have been enforced, all right? Should have been enforced. What do I mean by that? Referential integrity, okay? Where when you use that, that means that you should have no duplicates, okay? Um, and when I tried your one and there were some others, it did not allow to do it anymore. Why? Because you may have had something different from one field to the other. All right. When you do your referential integrity, or for it to be able to apply, every editing of it should be the same. Okay, this is what I expect from the others, right? Basically, Janelle, and there are many others that I checked, have most of it, right, correct. Okay, just a few little things that you need to go over with. The first table, okay, was the table that has to do with the categories of the employees in the boutique: assistant manager, manager, sales staff, supervisor, right, with the category code and the basic month. Okay, that would be the first table. Then you had the one with the personal detail, where of course you should have 25 records. Okay, it's 25 records, and it clearly mentioned how your records would be: the initial of the person along with a uh, with three, in this case, numbers. Um, of course, when you work with it automatically, it will be sorted into alphabetical order, and regardless how you have entered it, where with the corresponding ID, it will sort. So don't worry about that there, okay? I mentioned, you guys, please make sure that all names that you have here are far different from others, especially if you're working with someone else. If you are doing the so-called group work or pair work, all right, I have no problem with it, but make sure that your data varies, right, from names, date of date joint, addresses, contact numbers, all of that. And then the other table is the sales detail, where you would use your discretion to put the different employees a variation of what they make. All right, they told you that you vary from 1 to 10,000, if I'm not mistaken. All right, you of course use your discretion depending on the different positions of the employee. Supervisor would make definitely a little bit more than the normal workers, or the sales staff. Okay, manager, assistant manager. Okay, you use your discretion. Okay, I don't think you would use, say, that normal sales staff would make far more than a manager. Okay, so use your discretion there. Those are the three tables that you should have, people. Okay, all three of them. Of course, here it will vary because they have some editing that is being done as we go by. Every step that you make must be screenshot into word processing, where you will start entering all the print screen or print screenshot of each step that the SBA has. All right, each step should be screenshot. That is the SBA as a whole. Where it is here. Okay, every step must be screenshot. Please again use the samples. The sample is right in there. How the other users or my past students did the screenshot. I shared one recently okay, from another student that worked with me with SBA. And by the way, that is your sister, Elizabeth. You would see there a sample. I have it up there, her past SBA. Each one of them, for example, here, the personal details, boutique, etc., you will screenshot all of them. Each one of them, and each one of those steps must be screenshot, must be labeled what you are doing. Okay, each one of them. So this would have been your section of the database. Please go back in reference to your login to IT. Those of you who are still there or haven't even planned how to work, all right, go back to your login to IT for you to see the information. Okay, the relationship people. Okay, as I was telling earlier, I did mention telling some people also last week. This is not, I would say, fully wrong. All right, tables are okay and related with common fields. Nevertheless, as I told you, when you relate, this should be enforced. All right, this should be enforced. Referential integrity. What does that mean? That means that there cannot be duplicates in the event that someone has already an ID as AC, let's say AC 118. And you might have another person, again, initial AC, and instead of putting 218, you made a mistake and you entered 118, it would accept it again, and then you would have an issue, because then in your database you would have two persons with the same ID, all right, and then you may have a problem as you go by with your table. Now, using enforced referential integrity, that means that it will not allow you to do those repetition of IDs in this case. Well, in this case, it will be category code, all right? It is not allowing me because, of course, it's open. Okay, I already have open all of them here. And in the example of the IDs, as I was saying, the ID that is in personal details table must be the same ID that you have in the sales details. So if there is, I would say Alex Sima with a C, AC118 in personal detail, that is the same person that must match in the sales details ID as AC118. Okay, so when you do that, all right, that means that you must enforce. At this point, it won't allow because it's in use, but also you must be very careful that when we go, or when you design your table, that in this case ID, all right, it must be the same short text employee ID. Here probably should have had something like 5, because it will accept exact 5 characters, no more. Okay, look at the other properties. Required yes, allowed yes, duplicate yes, and so on. All of them must be the same as what you would have in sales detail right here. Okay, design here for ID, the same thing, short text. Okay, I would leave it as 5, sorry, yes, 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 no, no, everything must match the same. Okay, so I would close this here, save the changes, and let's see if it would have been possible. Enforce data in the personal detail violates professional rule. For example, there may be records relating to an employee in the related table, but no record for the employee in the primary table. So what is this telling me? That there are already some records in both tables that don't match, right? That don't match. For some reason, there is something that is not matching. Let's say I have 20 persons in personal detail. All 20 IDs must be matched in the same sales details, all right, regardless if you have deleted. Okay, so right there, you would have need to go back and track all the records. But that is one of the things that I observe from many that have hand in the access, all right? The relationships. I also saw the queries, all right? I had no